the science workshop. Today we'll be making a little ornamental Christmas tree, holiday tree. This one doesn't have battery, but this one does, and it lights up. If you see right here, there we go. It's very dim, but you can see right here that it's lighting up. To start off, you can start by making the bases out of cardboard, which are provided in the kit. Here I'm gonna trace one that already exists so that I can cut it out myself. Now that I've cut out my circular base, you're gonna reach into your kit. There's gonna be a template that looks like a little tree, and you're gonna trace over the cardboard 2 times because we're gonna make 2 of these shapes so that they'll be able to go into each other in the final product. Now that you've cut out the first shape, you can trace it instead of having to use your template, and you'll get the exact same design. Once again, this is a template in your kit. However, if you want to make your own shaped tree, go for it. Okay, so now we have our 2 tree shapes, right? And the thing is, it's kind of, you're seeing this right here and you're wondering, how are we gonna get it in there? And the simple thing, without getting into the hot glue quite just yet, is that you're gonna grab one of the cutouts, one of the cardboard cutouts, and you're going to cut a line straight through the middle, almost all the way, but you're going to leave probably, maybe like your pinky, you're gonna leave that much amount of space available, because if not, it's gonna fall apart, right? So, something like this. We want our pinky right, so it's gonna be almost there. Perfect, so here we see the piece open, and technically if you wanna just slot it in, you can slide it right on over. However, if you want it to fit even better, you can trim a little more off of the side of the middle so that it has more space to fall into the other shape. Perfect, we have our little tree. This is where I would tell you guys to start getting the hot glue. We have our base cut out, and we have our cork in the kit. This is a half cork. If you have an entire piece of cork, that's perfectly fine. What we're gonna do before we glue the tree onto the base is that I want to secure the side that's moving, so I'm gonna put some glue through the middle, and remember, be careful with the hot glue because it's extremely hot and you don't wanna burn yourself. And you're gonna go through the middle, just put a nice strip in there, as well as on the other side. Doesn't have to be perfect because we'll be sliding these in between like paper. You're just gonna hold them together. You can hold them on the ends and get some extra more glue, like that. And you wanna make sure that this is as dry as possible before we move on to the next step. While the tree is drying, why don't we glue the cork onto the base? So, pretty simple. Just get some hot glue on the bottom, nice good dollop, and you're just gonna twist it and make sure that it's all around the base, right? You see how it's sticking out, that excess material? That's good, it'll dry and keep it really stable. Now that our tree is dry and our base is basically done drying, we can glue it on. The thing is, this strip right here is not a lot of area for this to stay on the cork, so I would recommend to you guys to potentially grab your cardboard scraper and make a little groove in between the cork, just like this. Be careful, don't hurt yourself, guys. See how I'm making a little slice? We just want to make it as big as possible so that we can fit our piece of cardboard right in between so that there's less moving parts. Now that I've made a little cut inside of the cork, it can slide the cardboard in better so that it has even more points to connect. So now we're gonna glue them in. I would put a strip of glue right in the cork before we put it on the cardboard. And we're gonna press it in there and make sure it holds. If you want, you can add a little extra glue around the area, around the edges so that it's even more secure. But we're gonna hold it there and make sure that it dries nice and hard. for this to dry, why don't we make the little battery pack that's gonna power the Christmas lights, the holiday lights. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need about 4 pieces of electrical tape, the black tape, and you're gonna wanna stick the batteries. Remember, positive end and negative ends touch. We don't want positive and positive or negative and negative. We want positive to negative, like this. And it'll say on the battery for you. I wanna tape them together. So here I'm gonna just place one piece right here. Make sure the other piece is as good as possible. Boom. And what I did here is that I wrapped around a piece of foil, one of these little foils, and I made sure that the wire, the copper wire, was hooked in similar to this. So you're gonna wanna bend it over the piece of aluminum foil. Ouch, be careful, it will poke you. And you're gonna wanna wrap the foil around it. So this piece I'm actually gonna connect differently to the battery than this part, because this is gonna be like our little switch. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna grab a paper clip. So one end is going to have that copper wire covered in aluminum and taped right to the battery. And this other one, this other piece of copper wire, the other end, we're gonna wrap it around really well. We're gonna do a few loops, as many as possible. 1, 2, we're gonna braid it around our paper clip so that the clip will be like our switch to turn it on and off. Similar to this model right here that we see, we can move the switch on and off of the aluminum piece that's attached to the battery. So I tried my best. Here we have the copper wire wrapped around the paper clip. So you're gonna make another one of these so that we're gonna be able to tape it onto the battery. Now that we have this piece right here, we're gonna make sure that it's really well connected. We're gonna tape it over the end. Try your best to make sure that the metals are touching this piece of aluminum foil to the tip of the battery, because this is what's going to hook on right here. The other end, the part that is not going to stay on or be switched on, we're going to tape as well. Make sure that you get your contact as good as possible. So we can test now if the connections are good enough to light the battery. I've got some work to do on mine. So see how I'm holding them together with my finger so that they light up? We can't really do that in the long run. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use even more black tape so that it's able to wrap around. Or we're going to wrap it around the battery pack that we made. So you're going to cut a good long strip of this. And you're going to make sure that the pieces of aluminum foil are still able to stick out and so that we can reach them. But the rest you can wrap around like this. Try your best. Prettiest job. However, now that there's extra tightness from the tape, we can see that if we just put the paper clip over this piece of aluminum foil, if you guys look closely, the lights turn on. So now we have functioning lights. Thankfully, our Christmas tree has dried up, so all we have to do is glue this onto our base, maybe wrap it around, and then decorate. However, I want to decorate before I put these lights on because this fuzzy stuff with wires can get a little messy, so I'd rather put the lights on at the very end. So, within your kit, you should have some pom-poms and some pipe cleaner, and go for it. Decorate it however you'd like. I'm gonna go for another style like this. If you have a big pom-pom, what you can do is you can cut it in half. Try your best, go slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. And now you have this fluff that you can use to glue around your Christmas tree. Remember, gluing with hot glue is hot, so be very cautious while you're doing this. So now that our stand is dry and ready to be decorated, we're gonna do that. And like I mentioned, we're able to cut up a big puffy pom-pom, and we can use that to decorate the tree instead of just using a singular pom-pom like that. So yeah, decorate it however you want with whatever pipe cleaners you have. It's your art, so make it yours. So here I have my decorated tree, pretty similar to the one that I showed you guys before. So now that this is basically all ready, now we want to put the light and the battery pack on our little tree so that it can go with it, right? So I recommend before you actually glue down the battery, you figure out where you want to put the lights on the tree, because we don't want the cable to accidentally pull too hard, right? So I'm probably gonna have them dancing around like this. I want to make sure that it can reach right here. See how it's turning on and off. Dun, 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 dun. So I think right here might be a really good spot. You can hot glue your lights onto the tree or not. It's just going to be a little harder if you want to change the batteries. So now here we see our final product, our finished little Christmas tree, right? We see that the lights turn on, and the thing is, this is an arts and crafts, right? However, the science behind this is that we added a battery, 2 batteries, and 2 little lights so that we could create a circuit which causes the electricity to flow into the lights and turn on the lights so that we have a very nice little festive craft of a tree. But some precaution when making this project. Remember, hot glue is called hot glue for a reason, and this area right here is very, very hot. So be very careful when you're gluing things on here. If not, you're gonna burn yourself. And if you do get some glue on yourself, try to get it off as fast as possible by rubbing it on a napkin or something that you will be throwing away afterwards. Scissors will be needed. You'll use cardboard cutters. Be careful, sharp objects are sharp. And the main thing is to have fun, right? Have fun and have a good time making your little tree. Thank you.